Alright guys, welcome to episode 6 of our E36 M52 Turbo build. If you guys have made it this far into the series, things are getting pretty serious. So, we made a little bit of progress since the last video. If you haven't watched the last video, check it out right here. We pulled the old engine. The engine is out and it's sitting over there in the corner. We had to rob a couple of accessories off of it for the new engine. And we got our manifold mocked up, our turbos mocked up, obviously only the back half. Wastegate's kind of mocked up. We're ready to put the engine in the car. If you guys remember from the last video, we had mentioned that we sent the turbo manifold to a machine shop to have some work done to it. Basically, where the flange is that bolts to the head, it was warped, and it was so far warped that it wouldn't sit flush against the engine. So we had sent it to a machine shop that thought they could basically deck the flange surface and get it to sit flush, but it turned out that it was too far warped, too far bent. They wouldn't be able to do it. So we had to basically call an audible very last second. Got in touch with our friend Nima, who happened to have an RSI manifold, which is this pretty baby right here. We do have to take the whole car, once the engine is in, to Secret Factory to Rob so he can do the exhaust, the downpipe, the wastegate flange, the dump tube, all that stuff. Our goal for today, get the engine into the chassis, get it rolling, get it buttoned up. That way it's ready to go to the fab shop and get all the other stuff done. Tall order for today. It's already midday, but I think we'll make it. Don actually just finished up getting the gas tank back in the car. I'll show you guys a couple of clips of what we did off camera a little bit, but he pulled the fuel pump hanger out and he basically had to put the new Walbro fuel pump in there. It's a 450, but they call it like a 480 or something. But it's rated for E85, nice big pump to make sure we're getting all that fuel up to the front of the car. And he had to do a little bit of fancy footwork in the hanger assembly to get the pump to sit and to run the wires out of the tank, because we upgraded to thicker wires for the pump so that it doesn't have any kind of power draw issues. And we know that it's going to be pumping as much fuel as it possibly needs to make sure this thing stays healthy. With big 1050cc injectors, you really don't want a pump that's going to be starving the engine for fuel. That being said, we're pretty much ready to finish the fuel line stuff. I think Don just ran to the store to grab a couple other fittings that we need, and then we should be able to start getting the engine ready to go in. So stick around.
Welcome back to the vlog.
I already opened up the video.
We're doing electricity.
All right, boys, so I showed you guys the relay setup that we put for the fuel pump. I mentioned earlier that basically we were upgrading a lot of the wire sizes coming off of the fuel pump because we didn't want any chance of low voltage to the fuel pump or anything like that. So Don went and got bigger wire, upgraded the wire sizes. We added this relay that you guys just saw us wiring.
So for you guys that want to do this as well, you're going to need to know that it is a 5-pin 40 amp relay, and you want to find one that has thicker wires. So the important part is that from your relay to the actual pump, you have wire that's rated for higher amperage, because it'll just burn that wire out and potentially cause a fire or just cause issues or cause the pump to shut off and lean out and blow your engine up. So tons of kits everywhere. You can get it like at normal auto parts stores sometimes, but it's easier to just buy it on Amazon or eBay, really cheap.
What size relay did you end up buying?
40 amp.
40 amp. There you go, boys. So
it's actually a 40 amp, and you'll see online there'll be 40 amp / 30 amp, and what that means is that initial startup it's 40 amp, but constant running it's 30 amp. And that's what you need.
Sweet. So fueling just about done. Pump, relay, wiring, fuel lines that he did under, and then we got fuel lines to do in the front and all that. So I'll update you guys as we keep going, but yeah, pretty much done and dusted with the fueling back here. So big step out of the way. All right, guys, so this is all pretty much done. Basically, this is our new power wire from the pump. This is our new ground wire from the pump. We got them spliced in to where the ground goes back to the factory wiring, and the power now goes to our relay. So basically, relay is now in line with the pump. The only other thing is fuel level sensor still needs to get plugged back in. As you notice, we don't have the other plug here. That's what we unplugged, snipped the wires, and ran our own to the factory wiring. Conclusive?
Yes.
Dude, from this angle, I just gotta say, the light's all coming from the background, so Don just looks like a shadow in all these shots. So, sorry. Oh, Fresh John.
Most people wear gloves for this, but I don't think you can use that.
I think you could.
I don't think I should, though. It's be on the internet.
It's on the internet, dude. This is live.
I almost had it, right?
Fresh nuts. Put these nuts on your head, bro. All right, boys. So I mentioned earlier that we ended up swapping to this RSI manifold. I let him know already.
Yeah, so I had this modified CX manifold, and the modification was that the stock wastegate was cut off and plugged. So normally CX has this wastegate that like the tube comes out from like the flange here and actually mounts the wastegate way over here, and you get boost creep because it's so far away. So they plugged it, and we were going to weld the wastegate onto the turbo housing. So the placement of our wastegate was going to be off of this. Yeah, so now we have a nice RSI manifold. These manifolds are really good. Like everybody, like the reviews are great for them. They sound great, and then they're not prone to cracking like the CX ones where the collector for all the pipes is cracks all the time. Where this is a lot thicker and just like better plumbed, and it's under less tension under like heat cycles. The only thing I really don't like about this manifold is the wastegate placement, and I understand that like you only have so many options with top mount. Like it's there's just no room, so it's like you kind of have to put it there. But I'm not a huge fan because we're gonna find out why. It's gonna end up being a total pain to do this exhaust and intercooler. I can't wait for that episode. You guys are going to love it. Oh, God.
All right, boys. Engine off the stand after I don't know how many months. Maybe the better part of a year. So we're getting ready to get the clutch assembly on there, and then we can bolt the trans up. All right, boys, clutch is fully bolted up. We made a rookie mistake, which we've made before. I've personally made, at least. I don't know if Don has, but we forgot to put this little shield plate that goes behind the flywheel. We forgot to put that in after we bolted everything on. So Don unbolted everything again, put the plate on, bolted it back up. So now we're ready to mate the trans. We're almost there, making progress. These guys just standing around watching us.
We're here for support.
Giving moral support.
Bugs are flying.
Bugs are flying around. We got gnats in here. You probably can't. Oh, you can see them on camera. We got gnats. All right, we got the throttle bearing put on, the fork, the new clip, and lastly, the pivot ball that you can't see, but it's behind that. I believe Don got a billet one, or like a metal one. The factory one's plastic, so they kind of tend to wear out.
Yeah, they make like brass replacements. Brass replacement one, there's plastic replacement one, or stainless steel.
Nice.
And with stainless steel, it lasts longer.
Again, back to the trying to make this thing just be reliable. We don't want to have to pull any of this shit back out. So.
Motor blows. Hi.
Hi, how do you
We do this every episode.
Where we at? Where the feelings at?
I feel like we still have a mountain of work left to do and even more money to spend, which is terrifying because we've spent so much money.
It's terrifying because the engine's in, but there's still so much left
to do. And like everything getting changed last minute with this manifold and stuff, like I was really looking forward to doing a hood dump, and it just doesn't look like it's going to be possible.
Yeah, let's show them that. Where's the wastegate? All right, boys. Well, obviously, we got the engine in. It was not without a fight, I will tell you that. I don't know why this thing was so hard to put in. Partially because the turbo manifold.
I think we said this when we were pulling it. It's because we're dumb.
Oh, yeah. Check back later. Maybe we won't be so dumb anymore, but chances are.
So, yeah, if I want to hood dump it, the rest of the turbo goes,
Yeah, obviously the compressor housing still needs to go on. That's pretty big.
I could either cut this out and do a U up, or do a full U 180 degree like dump tube and like try to sneak it between the radiator and the engine, and then it's like putting extra heat near the valve cover gasket that I don't want to do, and it's just where like putting it here is just do a little tube right here, and there's nothing that's gonna get hot near it. It's like not a big deal. So it's going to the floor. I think we're gonna just dump it.
Yeah, we want to be spicy boys and have him have a hood dump and see flames shooting out of it at night. But yeah, like you said, the manifold. It's weird because this is the better manifold, in a lot of ways. But then it kind of changes the direction of where things can go. So, but ultimately, I think it's good that we got this manifold. Yeah. At the end of the day, the hood dump would be cool, but there's other benefits to this manifold that outweigh a hood dump. For now, maybe one day we'll be able to change it, but
as far as the fuel system goes, we started going over it when we talked about doing the relay and the wiring. So if you're here banking on learning about the whole fuel system, I'm sorry. watch the next episode. As I finish plumbing the lines, I'll explain like the entire fuel system, and then later down the line we'll do the exact same thing but for vacuum, and I'll go over that. Like each system is, you know, like can be daunting when you start doing this swap, but really they're pretty simple alone when you break them down, and it's like everything has a place to go, and we'll run through it. It'll make sense.
Everything he's saying is in the next less than 2 weeks. So this
We're gonna be
episode,
jamming out videos.
Yeah.
Dude.
So this episode I'm gonna edit tonight and tomorrow, and hopefully it's up by tomorrow night. And then we got to keep jamming and filming. Grab the Sharpie, bro. We have stuff to cross off this list that'll make us feel better. Oh, Sharpie's right here. Come here. You get to do the honors. So I took the liberty of writing a list on the windshield. Don has a list, but I wanted to see it so I could stress with him. And this isn't the whole list. But now we got the clutch checked off. We're just putting in engine. I put that somewhere in here. Mount ECU. All right, so engine dropped in. What else we got? That's it.
That's all we get to run.
All right, well, cool.
Well, there's more to come, guys.
Yeah. We got more to add to the list,
not
too.
even everything.
Yeah, but okay, for tonight, that's going to be it. I need to go get this video going. But hey, stick around for the next video. Like I said, we are driving Willow Springs in less than 2 weeks. So this thing's got a couple shops to go to, fab work to get done, piping, intercooler, exhaust, and a tune at a different shop. So shout out to everyone who's helping us make this happen. And stick around, boys. We are going to fucking hear some turbo noises very soon. We are. All right, guys. Peace.